Going to let's see. As you are hopping on here, please be sure to hit the like button so I can see you on here. Comment with us if you'd like for us to pull up your name on the screen and give you some recognition and love. We are about to kick off our next candidate Q&A interview. And you all should know by now, if you're just now hopping onto the broadcast, we like to repeat the thing. So if you've already been watching, then you get to listen into the same thing at the start of every one of these broadcasts. I am Juliette Abel, President and CEO of the Westminster Chamber of Commerce, and I have with me my counterpart, Alberto Garcia, former Mayor Pro Tem Legacy Award recipient, my strategic advisor, and just a supporter of our overall community. Thank you, Alberto, for being here with me.
Thank you.
Today, we have a variety of our candidates seeking office in Jeffco and Adams, of course, at State House and State Senate, representing our community here in Westminster being 60-40. We do have a large pool of candidates seeking office, and we bring them to you so you can better understand them. During the broadcast, if you pick up a lot of information, please be sure that you hit the share button so others in your network can be alerted as well, and so they can understand the candidates that are running for office. So thank you, Dave Carpenter. I see you on here, Parker Brown. I also see Councilor DeMont and several of you that are hopping on here with us. Joni, share with us a little bit about why you're seeking the office that you're seeking.
I'm Joni Inman. I'm running for County Commissioner, District 2 in Jefferson County. And I've lived in Jefferson County almost my entire life. I mean, I went to junior high and high school here. Many of you have heard me say this, but I always say it. I met my husband at a nightclub on Colfax, married him at a church in Conifer, had all of our children here. They all went through schools here, and my entire professional career has been here. So I love this community. I'm also, by the way, a member of the Westminster Chamber and have been for a long time. I know the community, and I recently, a year or so ago, I saw our community kind of getting split and divided over a ballot issue. And I thought, this is not really the way we have lived in Jefferson County, and we need to elect people who can be unifiers. So I threw my hat in the ring. So I look forward to sharing some answers with you, and then also I'll share contact information so we can talk more.
Thank you, Joni, and thank you. I see Vanessa DeMont's on here with us. I also see Brian Head, who's been commenting as well, and several others. Of course, Wayne Anderson, thank you for tuning in. So, Joni, we have a few questions that have already come into us. Again, you're going to have 30 seconds to answer the question as soon as I'm done asking the question. The first question relates to business. What business experience do you have, and if elected, how will you draw from that experience to aid in our economic recovery?
Well, I'm a business consultant by trade. I own a small business and I work with 20 to 30 small businesses at any given time. So I understand everything that goes on in a business, from staffing to pricing, marketing, and each one is different. Each one, none of them want their staff or their patients or their customers to get sick. I would like to draw on that experience to say, let's open up fully in Jefferson County and let our businesses take the necessary steps to keep their business thriving and their customers and staff thriving.
Thank you, Joni. This next question is a little bit shorter. Yes or no, if elected, will you commit to your full term in office?
Of course. Yeah. I have no further aspirations. I don't want to go to Congress. I don't want to be a governor. I just want to be your county commissioner. Yes.
Thank you. Our county, our state, and of course our country is divided right now. Can you give us an example of a time that you've worked together with people of varying viewpoints to accomplish something positive?
Yeah, when I was at the city of Lakewood, I'm the former director of the mayor and city manager's office and deputy city manager. We redeveloped Villa Italia. People loved Villa Italia. It had been part of their life for decades, and there were those who understood that the decline was having a negative impact on their community. So we had to bring people together to talk about how to honor Villa's past, but create a vision for the future. So for me, it's taking the time to do just that. Patience, involvement, and vision in bringing people together.
Thank you. And so what do you think is the biggest challenge facing our county right now?
Oh, it's definitely prioritizing the county's budget and making sure that the expenditures reflect the core values of the community. And that's a difficult task. There are a lot of special interests, but we have to do that. We have to look ahead 2 to 3 years when the impact of the shutdowns will truly show its face on the county budget, because we're primarily dependent on property tax dollars. And so that will show up in 2 to 3 years. We have to look ahead 2 to 3 years.
And so if elected, what is your top priority?
The top priority is that it's the budgeting and making sure that we have good fiscal management. It's community safety, making sure that we get and keep bad guys off the street, and making sure that those streets are safe to drive on, well plowed, well maintained. It's community safety across the board.
In these trying times, what can elected officials do to support local businesses?
Mhm. The first thing is to please do no harm, right? Every time we add a regulation, every time we charge an extra fee, every time we put a reporting requirement on businesses, we are taking time and money out of business owners' pockets, and we need to do no harm.
Thank you, Joni. And you shared a little bit about the budget earlier. So how would you address the budget with competing interests? Of course,
Mhm.
the public safety, you've got the sheriff's office and other agencies.
And it's interesting because I've been meeting with department directors throughout the county organization, and there are some you never hear of, right? You never hear about the impact on the assessor's office or the coroner's office, or you just don't hear about that, but they're all impacted. So we have to look at the core values of the community. It is the elected officials' responsibility to know what those are, and then to make sure that we have adequate resources to address those issues before we do anything else. So community safety, and that doesn't mean just a blank check to sheriffs and district attorneys. It means, making sure that broadly we are keeping the community safe and we can fund it.
Thank you. And we have time for a couple more questions. So if folks have any questions to type it in, otherwise I'll continue to pick up some of the rapid fire ones that we have on our end. While you are running for your own reasons, Joni, how will you also listen to people with varying views in your district and work for those taxpayers?
Mhm. Well, first of all, understand it's not just for my district. There are 3 county commissioners, districts 1, 2, and 3, but we represent the entire county, and there are diverse interests, and I have been meeting with them. So I've met with people who are concerned about the fairgrounds. I've met with people who are concerned about dog parks, development, any number of issues, and it is continuing to meet with people and be accessible. One-on-one conversations are so helpful to me.
Excellent. So do you feel has too much power been transferred away from those elected representatives to our unelected positions? For example, the county health department. If so, how would you correct that? And if not, how would you encourage greater communication between them and the overall community?
Well, this is an issue I plan on working on whether or not I get elected, because I do think that too much power is in the hands of non-elected officials. So, and I just checked today, interesting fact, 227 executive orders out of the governor as of today, right? The emergency powers have been granted for that a period of emergency. And after that, those decisions should be made by the elected officials who are directly accountable to the people. Now, they should listen to their health department, their health directors. They should listen to the experts, but the decisions should be made by those of us who are directly accountable to the people.
Thank you. This question comes to us from Brian Head, and then we will move into your closing remarks. I will have to cut your closing remarks to about 30 seconds there to keep track of time. So Brian is sharing that you've been endorsed by a broad base of individuals, including an incredibly smart 15-year-old. Can you speak to how you've built that coalition?
Yeah, I think and that 15-year-old happens to be Emma Head, who's a wonderful teenager and is helping with my campaign. I have been here and I've been in this community for decades, and I have respect for people. I have respect for people, no matter their political political affiliations, no matter what they do for a living, no matter where they live. I have respect for people, and I listen to them, and I care about them, and it's just who I am. And I haven't changed who I am in order to run for office. And I think that is what has brought people to stand with me. They know that what you see is what you get. It's how I've always been.
And your 30 seconds closing statement for us.
My 30-second closing statement is thank you so much to everybody who has been walking this path with me over the past year. And I ask you to continue to do that all the way to November 3. I would be very happy to have your vote, and I absolutely promise not to let you down. So thank you so much. Please visit Joni4Jeffco.com to learn more, or call me at 303-829-1655, and let's have a conversation. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Joni. I appreciate it. We will be back, everyone, with our next candidate. Please stay on our page.